Hi friends, welcome to my channel, and today in this video I'm going to show you Active Directory migration from Windows Server 2008 R2 to Windows Server 2019. So Windows Server 2019 is newly introduced by Microsoft, and today I'm going to show you how you can migrate basically Active Directory infrastructure and DNS from Windows Server 2008 R2 to 2019. And also I'm going to show you in this same video how you can decommission your existing like old domain controller which is 2008 R2, and how you can get rid of from Active Directory and DNS from the old server, and you can move all the Active Directory infrastructure and DNS infrastructure in Windows Server 2019. So let's start. So this is my demo environment which I'm going to use in this video to give you the demo the how we can migrate the Active Directory and DNS. So currently you can see here my first server is Win2K 8R2DC01. So I'm using 4 virtual machines here. So the first one is my Active Directory and DNS server. You can identify this is running Win2K 8R2, and my domain name is victorinfosol.lan. So if I go here, you can see this is my domain controller which is Win2K 8R2DC01, and my domain name is victorinfosol.lan, and you can see my IP address configuration 192.168.0.151. So this is my domain controller IP address, and here you can see I am running Active Directory and DNS services on this machine. So if I go here from roles, you can identify from role summary also. If I expand here, you can see these are the roles which is running Active Directory domain services and DNS. So these two roles are running on this machine. So you can see from here. So basically this is my Active Directory server which is running on Windows Server 2008. So if I go here, you can see what this is. So this is Windows Server 2008 R2 standard with Service Pack 1 running. So and my domain name. So this is my old domain controller, and the new machine where I am going to migrate these things is 2019 server, and which is going to be Win2K 19 DC01, and I'm going to migrate my Active Directory and DNS role on this machine, and I'm going to give the IP address of this machine 192.168.0.152, and this is going to be a same domain. This is basically Active Directory migration or upgrade, you can say, from 2008 R2 to 2019. So the domain name is going to be the same. So here is my machine. So this is a brand new machine. I have just installed operating system on this machine and nothing done in on this machine. You can see this is a bare metal machine which I have just installed. So it's having 8 gig of memory, and you can see this is not joining domain and no rename. So I'm going to do all the tasks here from start. So this is freshly installed machine. I have not done any configuration changes or anything on this machine. So we'll do it together, and we'll do the migration as well. So last we have two client machine, which is Windows 10 client machine. So you can see the IP address is the first machine is Win2K 10 CL01 and IP address 192.168.0.161. So if I go here, you can see this is my Windows 10 client machine. So you can see this is joined in my domain victorinfosol.lan, and if I go here on a command prompt and run set, you can see this is joined in my login server is going to be my Win2K 8R2DC01. So this is logged in from my domain controller, authenticated, and also you can verify others details here. Like you can see basically all the information. I'm logged in as a user 01 here. You can see home path user 01, and this is basically my Active Directory domain controller user. If I type here who am I, you can see this is Victor Infosol user. So this is user I have logged in from the domain account, and if I type here like ipconfig, you can verify my ipconfig, and if I type ipconfig all, you can see my DNS settings also. So currently my DNS is set to 151. So this is my all IP configuration, and this is joined in my domain vector info.line. So same if I verify on my second machine, so ipconfig all, so you can see my hostname is win2k10 cl01, which is here this machine, and the IP address you can verify 162, which is given here, and the same thing you can verify my DNS is currently allocated to 151, which is my domain controller 2008 domain controller. So this is the existing infrastructure which I am running right now, and in this video we have tasked to migrate our Active Directory from this 2008 R2 to 2019, and then we are also going to decommission the 2008 R2 server from a domain controller role. So we'll do it together. So before proceeding anything, you have to make sure your Active Directory domain controller which you are going to migrate is healthy and you have no errors with like everything is working fine. So I'm going to run dc that command. Oops. My god, what I am running dc deck. So here's the command. Sorry for my typo mistake. So this is, you can see where it's testing. So it's our directory service diagnosis running, and you can see trying to find the host, and you can see everything is looking good, all the test is passed. So we have a healthy, like you can say healthy domain controller, and also you need to make sure you don't have any failed warning here. So you can verify from this command dc tag. Also you can go here in administrative tables and you can open your Active Directory users and computers just to make sure everything is good and you have no errors. So you can see this is my vectorinfo.lan, and if I go to India, you can see I have one group here, I have few users here, and I have two desktop here, which is our Windows 10 client machines. So this is good. And also you can go and verify your group policy, so you are able to modify or do any changes in group policy. So you have to make sure your group policy is also working. Also you can verify your DNS is working fine, so you have to make sure you have no problem with DNS as well, because when you migrate Active Directory server, it's automatically going to migrate your domain DNS also as well. So you don't need to do any task to migrate basically DNS from Windows Server 28 to 2008 to 2019. So this is good. DNS is also working, and also you can go if you have any trust or anything, like you can go and verify those things also, domain in Active Directory domain trust. So this is good. And also you can go here on a command prompt and you can run netdom query fsmo to get the fsmo information and make sure all the roles are healthy. So you can see all the roles, fsmo roles are currently running on win2k8 r2dc01, which is this server. So my purpose is to show you have to make sure your Active Directory is healthy and you have no problem with directory services before migration. And if you find any problem before migration, you have to go there and you have to fix those issues first, and then you can proceed with the migration from Active Directory and DNS services from 2008 R2 to Windows Server 2019. So this is good, and now we can go ahead and start the installation and Active Directory roles, and we can promote this server as a Active Directory domain controller. So the first thing we need to do, we have to configure IP address on this machine. So I'm going to configure IP address. So I'm going to put IP address 192.168.0.152, and I'm going to give my gateway address, and here this machine is going to join my domain. So I'm going to put here 151, which is my domain controller currently, and this machine is also going to be we'll change DNS setting later on also. So I'm going to just make sure this machine is able to join my domain. So I have configured the IP address, which you can see here. And now I'm going to change this machine name, so I'm going to put here win2k19 dc01, and now I'm going to join this machine in domain. So Victor info sol, hit enter. So basically I have renamed this machine and I have configured IP address and join in my domain. So I'm going to put my credential to join this machine in domain. So welcome to Victor InfoSol domain. So click OK, and now you must need to restart. So I'm going to restart this machine. So once this machine is rebooted, I'm going to log in as an inbuilt basically built-in administrator account. You can see here this is a built-in administrator account for computer and domain. So if I go to here on members, this account is a member of domain administrator, enterprise administrator. So we need to make sure we have administrative rights to join to promote domain control. So now I'm going to log in with the built-in administrator account, domain admin account here. So I need to type the domain name first, so Victor InfoSol, and I'm going to type the account name administrator, and I'm going to type password for administrator. So now I have joined this machine in domain and I have the correct rights to promote this machine as a domain controller. So I'm just want to make sure I have logged in with the current account. So you can see administrator.victorinfosol, and if I go and type who am I, you can see I am Victor InfoSol administrator account. So this account having all the relevant admin rights to promote domain control. So this is good. Now you can see this machine is joining domain, and also you can see here if I go to computers, this is a by default computer is going to become here. So this is good. So now we are going to promote this server as a domain controller. So I'm going to click on manage and add role and features. So click next, and now we need to install Active Directory. So this is role based installation. Click next, and here is our server. So click next, and now I'm going to select Active Directory domain services. So when you click Active Directory domain services, you're automatically going to install DNS as well. So click next and leave the next. So I'm going to click on install. So you can see what this is going to install. Basically Active Directory domain services, group policy management tool, and all these tools are basically a management tool. So which this installation is going to do. So basically it's going to prepare all the binaries file which is required to promote this machine as a domain controller. So after this, once the installation is finished, we are good to promote this server as a domain controller. So it will take few more seconds, I guess. So almost 70% completed. So now we got the link to promote this server as a domain controller. So I'm going to click on it. So now we have option. So this machine is going to be joined as a domain controller in this existing domain. So we already have the domain with the one domain controller, which is this victorinfosol.lan. So I'm going to join this as existing domain as a domain controller. So, and you have to make sure you have a current administrative rights, which I talk. So if you don't have, you can change the account name which having the correct rights to promote this machine as a domain controller in your infrastructure. So I'm good with this Victor InfoSol administrator because this is a built-in domain account, so it's have correct rights. So click next. And now we need to type the password for directory service restore mode. So I'm going to type my credential here. Click next, and specify delegation options. So we can click next. So this is not be able to retrieve a domain controller external component. So let's cancel this and run one more time. So I'm going to cancel this wizard, and just make sure you have a correct DNS setting. So what I'm going to do here, now I'm going to make some changes in DNS. So I'm going to put the DNS. So this is going to point this machine itself, because this is also going to be domain controller. So click OK. I'm going to put the DNS for my router as well. So 192.168.0.1, and same thing I'm going to do on my old domain controller as well. So 151, and primary is going to be the second one, and I'm going to add my gateway here. So everything is good, and now let's try one more time. So before trying, I'm going to just reboot one, so make sure it's not going to, like, if anything goes wrong, it's going to revert that, and we got the, like, good healthy machine to join to promote as a domain controller. So I'm just rebooting, and then we can try one more time. So sometimes when you try to do this, you can get some these type of error due to authentication fail or something. So you can try after reboot. So, and you need to make sure you have a correct administrative rights. So we are good to run again. So server is settled down now. So I'm going to promote this server as a domain controller once again. So I'm going to type the credential here for directory service restore mode and click next. And this time we can see we got the domain controller and any domain controller. So it was just a matter to reboot. So we have configured the correct DNS setting, and I rebooted, and we got this. So if you have a multiple domain controller in your infrastructure, it's going to show you either you can go ahead and do this. So click next, and then this is the default path for database folder and logs and sysvol. So I'm going to leave the default. So you can see what this is going to do. So it's going to do the forest and schema preparation and domain preparation. So we are good. Click next, and now you can see the script as well, what we are going to do. If you want to run this script from PowerShell, you can go ahead and run this. So I'm going to click next, and now it's going to check all the prerequisites, and if everything is good, we can go ahead and promote the server as a domain controller. So just wait for a few seconds, so it will give you the option to promote, or if you have any warning, any error, it's going to show you here. So you can see here all prerequisites check passed successfully, so we are good to go. And you can see we have a few warning here related to cryptography and DNS delegation, so we can ignore it and click on next. So now you can see when we click on install, it's going to progress and upgrading forest. So this is going to take few minutes, and after the active directory permission is done, this machine is going to reboot. So currently you can see this machine is here on my computer's OU, and soon this is going to be automatically moved to domain control once this machine is promoted. So now you can see it's upgrading domain now. So this is good, and waiting for DNS now, and now in background it's installing the DNS, basically DNS server role. And now group policy management, so it's going to install, and if that is meshing, it's going to install it. So it's replicating the active directory objects. So now almost done, it's going to reboot soon. Now it's configuring the DNS services on this computer. So now you can see this server is successfully configured as a domain controller, so we are good. And now this machine is automatically going to reboot in few seconds. So now if I go in my Active Directory server and refresh this, you can see we don't have Windows 2019 domain control object anymore here. So if I go and click here and refresh here, you can see we have now two domain controllers, which is good. Now you can see this machine is rebooting, and now we have two domain control, Win2k19 DC01 and Win2k8 R2 DC01, and both are global catalog. So now what we need to do, we need to migrate all these FSMO role once by one to new server, new domain controller, which is 2019, and then we can remove this domain controller and DNS role from this machine. So we'll do step by step, and also we need to verify like all these stuff is going to be open there, and we are able to do the modification like DNS manager, group policy, all these things. So now we are getting, so I'm going to type the password for administrator account. So now I'm going to verify my DNS first. So if I go here in forward lookup zone, I can see all the DNS entries there, and reverse lookup is also there, so DNS is good. And now let's verify group policy of management, and we can see we have a simple two group policy configured in this test environment. So I'm able to get those all GPUs, both the GPU here, and also I can see what is the setting. So this is good. And the next thing we need to verify Active Directory users and computers. So I'm going to verify Active Directory users and computers. We are good. I can see all the objects are there, like users, workstation, and also I can see that both domain controllers and their properties like global catalog. And let's verify site and services. So you can see our site India having two servers here, so everything is looking good. So now I'm going to run cmd here and dcdeck command. So you can see everything is passed, so this is good. So everything is looking healthy. Here you can see also. So now I'm going to check again the FSMO role. So you can see this server is a domain controller. We have joined a 2019 server as a domain controller, but this is all the FSMO role is still on 2008 R2 DC01. So I want to move it. So let's move the FSMO role. So if I go on domain controllers, Active Directory users and computers, and right click on domain name, I will get the here option operations masters, and you can see here operation master roles and where is currently running and where we can change. So I'm going to click on change. Are you sure you want to transfer the operation master role? Yes, the operation master role was successfully transferred, so this is good. Now I'm going to transfer PDC role, FSMO. This is also transfer successfully, and infrastructure. So this is good. This is also transfer. So we have transferred RAID, PDC, and infrastructure. So let's verify the same. And I'm going to run this command again. So it's going to take some time. So I'm going to verify same from our 2019 server. So net dom query FSMO. So you can see PDC, RAID, and infrastructure is moved to Win2k19 DC01, which so three roles has been successfully transferred. So this is good. And now I'm going to move the next role, which is we can move from our domain, Active Directory domain and trust. So I'm going to right click here on Active Directory domain and trust and operation masters, This is going to be changed, so I'm going to move this naming operation master, domain naming master. So I want to transfer, yes, and the operation master successfully transferred, so this is good. Now let's verify the same. So now you can see now all four roles has been transferred. The one is left, which is schema master. So to transfer schema master role, we need to launch the MMC, and before launching the MMC schema master console, we need to add the register the schema master file, DLL file. So reg svr32 and schema mgmt.dll, hit enter. So you can see DLL register server is succeeded, so this is good. And now I can go and launch MMC, and from MMC click on files and add remove snap-ins, and you can see here ActiveDirect schema, so I'm going to add this. So now if I go here, right click and change, first thing we need to change the domain controller. So I want to change domain controller to 2008. So basically we can, if I go on operation masters, now we can see this is connected to current is 2008 DC01, so we need to change it to 2019. So this is good, and now I'm going to right click on operation masters and we can change to now. So you can see the below one is 2019 DC01, so click on yes. So operation master successfully transferred, so this is good thing. And now we can close all these stuff and we can verify one more time FSMO role. So you can see now all the 5 schema FSMO role is running on DC Win2K19 DC01, which is good. So now we can basically change the DNS setting on our machine. So first thing, I'm going to change DNS settings on my both the client machines, and I'm going to verify this is going to join from like login from my domain controller, which is 19. So I'm going to put the DNS 192.168.0.152, click OK, and I'm going to reboot these machines, and the same thing I'm going to do with this machine. So I have rebooted both my Windows 10 machines, and now I can go ahead and close these all things for 2008 R2 machine. And now I'm going to demote this machine from a domain controller. So to do this, first thing I want to remove this machine from a domain catalog. So from here 2008 R2, I'm going to double click on it, and from NTDS settings I'm going to uncheck this global catalog and apply, click OK. So this is good, and now it's become a DC type. Under DC type you can see this is only a DC domain controller, not a global catalog. So now I'm going to reboot this machine once. So both my machines has been rebooted, Windows 10 client machines. So I'm going to log in both the machines. So now I'm going to verify like my domain login server has been changed. So on Win10CL01 I'm going to verify first, run the set command, and I can see my domain login server is Win2K19 DC01, which is good thing. And let's verify the same on my CL02. So you can see the login name, login server is also changed for this. So we got to know like our Windows 2019 domain controller is working perfectly fine. So now we can proceed for the decommission of this machine. So I have just rebooted my 2008 machine, and now we can go ahead and proceed for the decommission and removing the Active Directory DNS role. So I'm going to run one DC promo here on my old machine. DC promo. So welcome to the Active Directory installation wizard. So when I click next, this is going to be say like this is a global catalog server. Unless we like we have changed this from a global catalog, this is not a global catalog server anymore, so we can ignore it. So basically this is going to take some time to send these information from another domain controller, so we are good with it. So you have to make sure this is not a global catalog, so click next. And now you have to make sure you are not selecting this. I would recommend you to take the backup of both your domain controller first for your Active Directory infrastructure before demoting any domain controller from your infrastructure. And so this is good, and I'm make sure that you are not selecting the delete this domain, because this is the last domain in your infrastructure. So we have another domain controller in place to take care of the domain infrastructure. So we are good. Click next. Now it's checking for the DNS delegation, so we need to type the administrator password, which this machine is going to reset. Oops. So click on next and reboot on completion, so it's automatically going to reboot. So you can see it's stopping the net logon services. So now the machine is rebooted, and I'm going to hit Ctrl-Alt-Del. And now if I go here and log into this machine, you will be able to verify this machine is no more in Active Directory. You can see this is moved to computers, because this machine is no more Active Directory server. So this is good thing. If I go here and expand the roles, you can see we don't have Active Directory domain. We have Active Directory services, but we got the error here. So we can go proceed now to remove these roles permanently from this machine. And also I'm going to remove the DNS role, and both the this is going to require reboot, so we can go ahead. Now this is going to remove these two roles from this machine, and then we are good. So now you can see roles has been uninstalled and restart pending. So I'm going to restart this machine. So this machine is going to become 2008 R2 is going to become our only one domain controller infrastructure. So we have one domain controller, which is Win2K19 DC01 now, and this machine is no more having any Active Directory and DNS role. So I'm going to log in back on our old machine, which is 2008 R2. So removal progress, so everything is succeeded, removal succeeded. And now if I go to roles, you can see no roles has been installed this machine. So this is good. We have successfully decommissioned this machine from a domain controller and DNS role. And now let's verify one more time to reboot this machine, both clients, and verify if we have any issue with the login. So mostly everything is going to be good. So I'm going to run here cmd again, and you can verify DC health. Um, So everything is passed, so we are good. So you can go ahead and analyze these things in details, but basically everything is passed. So we can see read manager, net logon, and machine account, everything is good. So also let's verify the FSMO roles once. Nadom carry FSMO. So you can see status, everything is on Win2K19 DC01. So everything is good. Now I have rebooted my machine, so I'm going to just log in back and verify my client machine having no issues. So I'm able to log in. So let's log into CL02, and I'm going to run few commands here to just verify everything is good. So like, who am I? So I am victim for sole user 01, and I'm going to verify set again. So I'm good. I'm logged on server which is Win2K19 DC01, so I'm good. So this is how we can migrate Active Directory domain services from Windows Server 2008 R2 to Windows Server 2019. Also we can have like we have checked how we can decommission 2008 R2 server from our domain infrastructure. So this is all in this video. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe me for more videos. And if you have any query, any question related to this video, you can always post me on my given mail IDs. Thank you once again. Bye bye.